So you're sitting there, you've done your transaction,
Yes.
and go ahead and you kind of started. I don't want to interrupt you. I just want to hear you tell your story. What happened?
Okay. I was in the Bank of the West and I was sitting in the chair waiting for my husband to return to pick me up. I was done with my banking and then all of a sudden these men ran in and saying this is a holdup and they had guns. And then it was happening so fast that they had the security guard and then somebody had jumped over the where the bank teller is and asked for money. Took the bank teller to the back to the vault, and they were asking for keys to the vault. And I didn't know if they took any money. I'm sure they did, but it happened so quickly that they were telling everybody lay down on the ground, lay down on the floor, don't move. And then Misty was crying because she was saying that her daughter was alone in the car, and we were looking at her. Who would leave their child in the car? And then we're thinking, teenager maybe. And so she says, I don't want my daughter to see me coming out with you. And they said, don't worry, nothing's gonna happen. And they took her anyway, because the police were there, and they took the store manager and another teller. And the store manager had her keys, and she was going to give them to the robber, but he says, no, you're coming with us. You're driving. So they took them out to the front door because they were asking to go out the back door, but there is no back door. So they had the guns to their heads and they walked out the front door.
When when was it that they determined that they were going to take hostages? And from what you saw, when did they?
When they found out that the police officers were there, they said, we're going to take hostages.
They said that.
Yes.
They used those words.
Yes.
And how did they determine who they would take?
Whoever, I don't know. They just grabbed Misty, and the manager had her keys, and another one. They needed somebody else, and so she was standing next to the bank manager, and Misty was on the floor. All the other men were behind the desk, on the floors. But they didn't want no men. They wanted women.
They wanted women.
Yes.
What were some of the words they were using when they were inside? Were they yelling? Were they shouting?
Yes, yelling and shouting. Where's the keys to the vault? Anybody had keys? And they were saying, we don't have no keys. We don't have no keys. But I think they had one of them in the back. I only saw the two in the front.
Was Misty standing next to you?
Misty was on the floor too.
Next to you or farther
Yes.
away? Or?
Yes.
It could have easily been you that they chose as well.
Yes, yes, yes. That's why when I looked at her and she was crying, I felt so sorry for her at that moment. I said, her daughter's outside, and then when they took her, we were all crying and we were nervous. We were nervous because we can hear the commotion, through the police officers, the noise and the shooting, going on down Thornton.
After they left down the street.
Yeah, and so we just hope that everybody's going to come out okay. And then when we found out later on when I came home that Misty died, I was very shocked, and I started crying.
Before she left, at what point did she tell them, at what point did she have an exchange with them?
When she was on the ground, she kept saying, don't hurt me, don't hurt me. My daughter's outside waiting. She's in the car. And so...
what did they tell her?
Don't worry, don't worry. Don't worry. And then they I guess what they were trying to say is that nothing's going to happen to you guys. You're just going with us to guard them. But, I didn't know they were packed with other ammunition. All I saw was a pistol. And then they had a backpack, and other things that I heard afterwards, with them.
Before she left, at what point did she tell them, at what point did she have an exchange with them?
When she was on the ground, she kept saying, don't hurt me, don't hurt me. My daughter's outside waiting. She's in the car. And so...
what did they tell her?
Don't worry, don't worry. Don't worry, you know. And then they I guess what they were trying to say is that nothing's going to happen to you guys. You're just going with us to guard them. But you know, I didn't know they were packed with other ammunition. All I saw was a pistol, and then they had a backpack, you know, so, and other things that I heard afterwards, you know, with them.
How would you describe their behavior inside the bank?
Like they know what they were doing, you know, and they're going to get away with it. But then they got scared when the police were there. They didn't know that this was going to be a change.
Did it seem like one was leading the others?
Yes, I think so. Yes. And it was the one that took Misty.
The youngest?
The youngest.
Well, actually, I don't know.
I think
the one
so.
that survived said that he used her as a shield.
Yes, that's the one.
He's the one with the long hair in the back? And he seemed to be leading everything?
Yeah, because the two were here and the other one was in the back with the vault. With the other teller.
You feel like you have a connection with Misty now?
Yes.
Tell me about that.
I saw in her eyes, you know, that she was scared and that this is going to be it, you know. She didn't want to go.
You reached out to her husband.
Yes.
And what do you want to talk to him about?
I wanted to let him know that he loved her family very much, especially her daughter. And that's all she was thinking about, her daughter outside in the car waiting for her. And that she didn't want to see her like that, but she did. Because she called her dad right away that, you know, that's what I heard, that she called her dad, that they took her mom. And that is very sad. So we all were crying and praying inside, you know, hoping that no harm will come to them. But they did.
It's a week now that's passed.
Yes.
Have you gone through different feelings over that week?
Yes. Yes. I didn't go to the kennel. And I didn't go to the hearing. My son said, no, don't go, you know. It's too, you know, we don't know if other people are going to be there, you know. And I just want to let the family know that, you know, we were praying for her and the other hostages all that time they were going through Lodi and El Campo. And we're still praying for them. And I hope that someday I will meet them and we'll feel some closure.
How many people were inside the bank?
Besides the tellers, customer-wise, there was Misty and I as women, and then there was about 4 or 5 other men.
Did everybody do what the robbers asked?
Yes, yes. We, you know, that's what the bank teller was saying. Just do what they asked you to do. Just get down, put your hands up, stay still, let them leave. You know, but it changed.
Was there swearing? Was there?
No, I don't think there was any swearing. No.
It was very concise and orderly.
Quick, yes.
How did they walk through the door? Did they walk through the door and were they loud or were they?
Yes, they were loud, and they were going like this with the pistol, you know, and I was in shock right there and then because it didn't look real, it didn't feel real, you know. And like I said, I was waiting for something else, but you know, then I said, okay, I'm gonna let them know I'm here, because they didn't know I was sitting there, you know.
That you were behind them.
Yes,
I was. In a chair.
Yes.
And what did you say to them?
I said, I'm over here. What would you like me to do? Well, I want you to get over here with them. Get on the ground. Get on the floor.
anything you want to talk about? Anything else?
It is, it's very sad because it started to be a very happy day, and then it turned out to be tragedy. And I'm very thankful to God that none of the other hostages were harmed that were in the bank. We could have been shot. All of us could have been shot and then taken, the 3 hostages, but none of that happened, you know. And I'm thankful for God for that.
There are people questioning, including the Misty's family, about the police decision to pursue the car, and also the police policy on hostage ordeals. What's your belief right now as far as how they handled it?
You know, I just hope that they did. You know, it happened so fast. There was so many police officers, and I think they did the right thing. You know, too bad it had to be one person that had to sacrifice. You know, but like I said, who knows if she was dead before that happened? I don't know. I don't know if the police officer shot her, or could have been him himself. I don't know.